Hi, Elaine. Oh, you're muted.
Hello.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm here to start trouble.
I know, but I'd rather have you cause trouble than some other people. And somebody's got to do it.
That's right.
Hey, Becky, let me just grab my clip for my phone. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm having a flashback.
This means Elaine's going to run for your spot. Did you hear?
Yes, I am so excited. She's
We're just
got
going
her-
to toss this ball back and forth, for the rest of our lives.
I missed. Oops. Oh, it's a hot potato.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay.
What? Nobody believed me? Yeah, I know. There's a reason for that. Oh, I see that Linda's here, but I don't see her. I gotta go.
I can see her.
Oh, now I do. Hey, Linda.
Hi, Becky.
Wow, and there are no cobwebs on Melissa's ceiling.
That's bad. That is really bad. Why doesn't she have all those spiders that I seem to have just kind of surrounding my whole house?
We had a moth in the house this morning.
A mouse or a moth?
A moth.
Oh, okay.
And Alan got more mouse traps. I mean, this man's on a roll. Genocide.
Maybe your dog should have a cat, April.
What?
I know.
Dog should have a cat.
I know that the dog is a chip. He likes chipmunks.
Oh, does he?
The chipmunk hound.
He likes to eat them?
If he could, he likes to dig for them.
Mm.
Then he throws them up on the living room floor.
Well, not so much. That's other stuff. Oh, the joys of having a dog. I love having a dog. It's a pain in my butt.
I have a mini French, what do you call it?
Bulldog?
Bulldog. Thank you.
Frenchie?
My new grandpuppy is a little French bulldog. Oh my God, he's so cute. She's so cute.
Oh,
Can't be cuter than my granddog,
What do you have?
who dresses in costumes.
Well, you should
Really?
see, she had a leopard's t-shirt on today and got a new rhinestone collar.
oh
My
God.
granddog
Ears
even
are
wears,
like this big.
my granddog even wears sunglasses when he's
Oh,
forced to.
Oh, you're kidding.
yeah,
No.
these two they would talk. They would talk.
Let's get some grandkids. How about that?
Mm,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
I have the herd of grand dogs,
Oh, you had the grand pig.
grand pig, grand goats,
That's
4
awesome.
grand dogs,
That's
5
awesome.
grand cats, 4 kittens. They just had 4 kittens.
Wow.
Linda, are you ready?
I am, thank you.
Nobody else is.
We just can
Well, we
socialize,
chat too, right? We do kind of miss chatting with Elaine. We do miss Elaine.
Yeah. And Donna's going to be here in just a few minutes.
Okay, let me put the agenda up on my computer screen.
Okay.
Get mine too.
And I did send out a picture of that map again. I had
You did.
forwarded. Oh, I have to be quiet.
No, that's
Elaine, we have an executive session at 5:40.
okay. So why don't we call ourselves to order now? And what'd you say, Elaine?
I said it'll take years.
Oh, no.
I know it superseded 2 of you, 3, 4 people now. Let's see. Do we have anything on the agenda, Becky, that needs to be added or subtracted or adjusted?
We need to ask Linda about,
There was an appointment, right?
yeah, the AC club.
Yeah,
Yes.
so one thing, right, we'll add the cultural council appointments.
Okay.
And the the AC, well, they need their certificate of inspection from the building inspector and their fire safety inspection, and Walter has signed off on the fire safety inspection. However, FCCIP has yet to issue, at least from what I can tell by looking at their site, they have not yet issued the certificate of inspection. So unless they have one and can, produce it, you can't really move forward because that is a requirement that they have and for their license application, and that requirement has not been waived by the state.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I've written to them, reminded them numbers of times, and I sent my last reminder a short while ago. So we'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
All
If not, hopefully they'll have it by the 8th. I don't know. What we don't know is if there are any outstanding issues,
That they need to take care of.
right, that they need to take care of. Nobody's revealed that yet. So,
Okay.
okay.
All right. So we may or may not have that item. I guess that's what
That's the bottom line. Yes.
that's the bottom line. Okay. Rita and April, did you have anything that you wanted to add or such to the agenda?
No.
Oh, no? Okay.
No.
That was a very quiet, quick no. All right. So shall we have public comment? Is anyone here for public comment? Elaine, thank you for coming for public comment. What could we do for you? What would you like to let us know?
I'd like to talk about, and Linda, I just sent you a copy of the letter that I sent to the select board yesterday, I believe it was. I am very concerned about the 2 properties on Pelham Hill Road that a number of people have to walk by, ride bikes by, etc. And you cannot jump off the road when a logging truck comes along. And usually that doesn't bother me, but it kind of rattled me last week it was that I was running and this very large logging truck was coming towards me, and it was not following the 30 mile an hour speed limit, and it was full, and I jumped off the side of the road. Normally, I usually can see him coming, and I jumped off the side of the road, and I realized that I was right in between those 2 houses. And if I had been couple houses one way, couple houses the other way, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to jump off the road, and it just gets worse in the winter. And I know we have talked about this before, and it was when Al and April and I were on the select board, and Al said that he was going to take care of it and talk to Mark, and then it was only Mark at the time, and then afterwards, Al put his own up, and then he took his down, and now the Kaises have it up also, and it's just it's not right. It's on town property. It's giving no one access to be able to get anywhere off of the pavement, and it's a hazard. And I brought it to the police, and to highway department, and Tim wrote right back and said he supported my efforts because it is a problem for him too. So I'd like you to do something because I couldn't.
Okay. Becky, we should probably look into the safety there, although I'm sure you're on it already.
Yeah, and we have a plan that was discussed earlier, but we normally don't respond to public comment, Elaine.
Yep.
But I can tell you what we're talking about doing. I will call you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. We appreciate you coming.
You're welcome.
I know you'd be here for later. Let's see. Shall we go into executive order? Do I hear a motion to go? I'm sorry, executive session. Do I hear a motion for executive session?
So I need to leave now, don't I?
Bye.
Yeah.
But we'll welcome you back later.
Don't you miss it? Oh, there she goes.
Apparently not, April.
I guess not.
Okay, do I hear a motion to go into executive session for reason number 3?
So moved.
Can I just ask,
Timing.
can I just ask a procedural question?
Yes.
So, what happens now? Is this, the recording is still going on? I know I participated in another executive session for my consulting work, and they actually had us call a different number. So, we ended the meeting and then called in on a different number.
What
So it's
What
just
Becky could do is she could put us all into a
room?
room.
Hmm.
Or
And
I
that-
could if I'm
or you-
co-host.
You are co-host. And I've never done that before. So if you want to take chances and Linda
Sure.
has a comment,
You can just enable the waiting room, and that way no one can come in without permission.
But what if
Oh.
somebody watches the recording of the meeting?
Right.
I think that's.
Right.
the
You can
problem.
stop
turn off the
recording.
recording.
There's Kevin.
That's Elaine's kitchen.
Yeah,
And Beezy's here.
I see her. There's Kevin. He's at town hall.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Beezy.
I was just texting with Elaine, so I know she's around.
I'm going to bring up my, hold on one
And
moment.
here's Grace.
Hi, Grace. Go back to- All right, and this is to reopen the classification.
Yes, the,
Recreation Committee was first, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I skip something? Sorry. Recreation Committee. I'm sorry. I skipped something.
That's us.
Okay. Is Elaine back?
There she is.
Okay.
I am.
All right. You would like 5 minutes with us.
Yes, take it away, Beezy.
Okay, so quickly, we are interested in getting community garden plots going in Shutesbury next spring. And so far, we have identified 4 places that they could be. And we put a survey out on, what's it called? Survey Monkey, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And we got 15 people that responded back to us, 12 of whom were interested, which I think is pretty amazing, actually. And 3 responded, right, Elaine? But they weren't sure if they wanted to have a plot or not. They were,
Right.
but they filled the whole thing out. So I sort of
Mhm.
feel like they probably are interested enough to do that.
And it was really, I find, I know that 12 doesn't sound like an amazing amount, but they actually had to type it in because they got it in paper form, and that was the only way they saw it.
So, I mean, we'd like to keep surveying the town. I mean, there, a lot of people probably didn't see it too.
Right.
How did it get distributed? I don't think I ever saw it.
We put it in the road, in the Our Town newsletter, and it was in the
Oh.
Recreation Committee, and it was supposed to go on the town website, but it never got there.
Grace and I haven't gotten it up yet. But we will.
Okay, so I think when that happens, we might generate, there might be more interest too.
Right.
But it seems
Okay.
to me that's sort of encouraging. We weren't going to go very far with this if nobody responded and, didn't seem like anybody was interested, but the limited amount of time we've gotten it out there, I think it's a pretty good, return. So we're sort of encouraged to keep moving forward.
Okay.
Right.
So the idea is to do something similar to what Pelham has done in having a community garden.
What we're planning on is what our vision was to take one of the 4, we offered 4 possible sites of the town. We offered behind Town Hall, behind the, excuse me, Alexa, stop. That's my bread, it's ready. Behind Town Hall, behind the fire station, lot 032, and at the school. those were the 4 places that we offered, and we didn't have any commitment, and we didn't have any real major push for any of them. And most people liked it to be behind the town hall. They liked the idea of community gardens there. And what we were planning on was just basically asking for community preservation money, recreation money, to put up fencing, to till the land, to get soil that compost, etc., and to get a water supply.
Now, I assume that the select board has to authorize any of this land usage.
That is true. Well, I don't know. What?
Yes,
Yes.
and it might be town meeting. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we're going to CPC for $15,000 for the fencing and the development of the project. And we just wanted to let you know that that's what we're looking at, and ask you if we're wasting our time, and how you guys feel about it, and what we should be looking for in our CPC grant proposal.
Good question. I don't think I think it's a good idea to have one. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
A lot of towns have them. It's a really, I think this spring when COVID happened, so many people got into gardening, and a lot of people, I mean, we are in the woods and people don't have a lot of sunlight sometimes in their backyards. They don't, and God knows we have sort of rock gardens, so some people get discouraged trying to start gardening, and they hit, rocks, and they say, forget it. So I think it would be it would be a way for people to come together as a community, help each other. It seems like the 4 places that we suggested, most people like town hall the most, maybe because there's parking there. If you were at the school, there would be problems with, you couldn't be there when the kids were there. It'd be limited, time that you could actually be there. I can't remember that the lot 032 has issues, let's just say. I don't think anybody was interested in that, were they, Elaine?
No,
No,
it was mostly behind either town hall or the fire station.
yeah.
Topsoil's up and
So,
stripped off a lot of
well, if you guys are, not throwing up any big red flags, we'll just keep
Oh,
moving forward, I
Becky
guess.
has a question.
Yeah, Becky.
You said the grant would be for fencing, development of tillable land, water supply, and what else?
Well, if we did it behind town hall, we might have to put a little road in along one side so we could get to the back lot, away from the building. Not a real road, but I mean, enough that you could drive.
Okay, I just want to flag, I have real concerns about behind town hall and the amount, if you're talking about having people drive back there for parking, that may be doable. Utilizing our unpaved parking lot, which is already overstressed oftentimes, is, to count on that for this purpose is, would take some work and development there. And I have serious concerns about putting it back there, but if there's a committed group of people like you're talking about, working on it, it also curtails the other development wherever you put it. You want to think through what it's not, what you're not going to be able to do if you do this. And I guess,
Well,
I just think there needs
this
to
is
be.
not I was just going to say, this is not a permanent structure.
No,
So,
the change in what is there. You're right. It's not a permanent structure. And if you decided to develop it another way, you can do that. But I just have grave concerns about putting it behind town hall. I've looked at putting a road in for a cell tower on the left-hand side, We have septic issues. We have drainage on both sides now and water problems back there. So there's some serious issues that really need to be considered in use of this behind town hall that I think need to be really thought through before it's put out there as a real possibility.
What about behind the fire station? How do you feel about that one?
Parking.
That's there, we've got the solar
There.
panels back there now, and we've got a swamp out there.
And you have a well too, isn't it back there?
Yeah, and we've
Yeah.
got the new town well, which hopefully it wouldn't interrupt, but there is, there's, I think looking at the lots that you're talking about seriously is really important because there could be a lot of hidden costs in utilizing either one of those. It
Can you
could
think of another spot that's a better choice? I mean, we were just coming up with the 4 obvious ones.
It's that middle of the woods lot that we have off of Wendell Road, but I don't think we have any access to that.
Yeah.
we could build a bridge or rope swing,
I mean, I think it's one of those things.
make it a real recreation garden site.
I think it's a terrific idea, and we have to be really creative about where to locate it. You
Yeah,
know,
I just want the work done to make sure that the location, it doesn't have surprises and is unusable in the end. I think it's a great idea. I just want to do the work ahead before people think it's going to happen.
So what is that work?
I
What is
think
that?
you'd probably have to get some soil specialists in and, other things you normally do when you site.
I think that would have to be part of the grant. That would have to be part of our CPC grant proposal would be to do that, because we're not going to do that on our own for
Right.
the rec committee.
Yep.
And maybe it could be staged as the first part.
mhm.
And then if that, if you have to keep looking for a location, then that in the first stages.
But I'm not sure what the soils, are you talking about a soils analysis to determine if the soil's contaminated or how wet it is, or what are we trying to find out, I guess is the question. Because, one of the things that could happen with the community garden is it could be raised beds.
Right.
So,
That was part of what we were planning on, was raised beds and to actually create them.
right.
Okay,
so-
the deepest well that we had to drill when we put in all the test wells was behind town hall. So it could I think it had to go 300 feet or something. So if you're gonna, create a water supply there, you're like,
No. We were looking to tap into the town water supply if we put it behind town hall, and the water supply that's already at town hall, and the water supply.
town water supply is already, the Board of Health, we can't even drink the water, which for plants should be okay. But that again, I'm just flagging concerns that I would like to have addressed ahead and before the assumption is these are usable sites. That's all I'm asking for.
Also, I don't think this is insurmountable.
No, I
but
just would like to do it ahead and not find out we got a problem halfway
But
through.
we weren't thinking we would drill a well. We were just thinking
you
that
could-
people would want to be able to have water at the site that they
And
could
we should
access.
talk to Penny Jakes, who tried to utilize the town hall water supply to water the garden that is out our back door. That was a struggle. So the thought that we would have the water pressure to get water to the back part of the parcel is, things would have to change.
Well, or people could use jugs and fill them up at town hall and take them out to their garden plot, and we could start small and see what, if that works. Doesn't-
I guess then our initial phase should not be the actual creation of the garden. Maybe it should be the
Finding a site.
the site development.
Yep.
And
Making sure the infrastructure is, is
Yeah.
available and reasonable. Because if you end up having to spend $20,000 to put a well out there,
Yeah.
because town hall can't
No, we're not-
afford it.
no.
And that is very possible from what I know of this building and the water supply.
I don't think they have a water source at, in Pelham. Because it's off of,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meeting
they
House
don't-
Road.
they don't.
So people bring their own water. That's,
either they bring their own water or you have a water barrel there, so you.
rain barrel.
Rain
It's a
barrel.
rain barrel that they have there.
Right, right. So you're just doing.
That would be a lot simpler, I would
I
say.
wonder if Al Werner could be helpful in, just as a citizen who knows, well, he's the water guy, but he also has a lot of, he's a geologist.
Yeah, maybe. Okay,
Okay,
I think
that's
this-
all.
this could
that's all
work.
we need. We're ready to go and work on this.
Okay,
Rita, can I ask you one thing though?
Sure.
As when we look through the requirements, it says that we need to send 8 hard copies to the community preservation. I'm assuming that 1 electronic copy is good.
Yeah, that will be fine.
All right,
People are
Thank
not coming
you.
into town hall to pick up anything.
that's exactly what I thought. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Lindsay.
what's that?
Done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Done. Okay, we're out.
Thanks,
Bye.
bye.
You could stay.
Yeah, we are kicking out. Okay, now we'll go back to the reopen. And I've lost, where is my agenda? Come back here. Reopen classification. Do I hear a motion to reopen the classification hearing?
So moved.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Carol, I.
Stein, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. All right.
Hey, if I could explain, the Department of Revenue, as it's prone to do, loves to change things up frequently to drive assessors nuts, such as eliminating the requirement for the select board to sign a document and then me sending you there because they didn't tell me. So one, thank you, Mayor Farrell, for signing. Well, what happened is their computers on Gateway actually malfunctioned last Wednesday and Thursday, necessitating us to re-input some of the documents. In the course of doing that, our valuation document got questioned by somebody who hadn't seen it before. And the reason why we're doing this is the net result is we were able to add almost $500,000 more valuation,
Okay.
which had the effect of taking the rate we determined last week and lowering it by 5 cents to a new rate of $22.61, not 66 cents. So the result of that is, in order for that to get certified, you need to take another vote after they certified the valuation, which happened this afternoon. So basically, I'm asking you to revote the 4 motions, which I'll be happy to read for you
Please.
again. So number 1 is somebody moves that the select board vote to establish a residential factor of 1, meaning a single tax rate for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I'm having trouble hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Carol, I.
Stein, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
Okay, Linda, I can send you the wording of the motions,
They're the same ones from last week.
the exact same motions.
Okay. Can you just tell me the new tax rate? I couldn't hear, there's some sort of feedback going on.
Oh, hold on. I'm just trying to fix my camera. One second. I moved it and I shouldn't have, and such is life. Oh, something's wrong.
Well,
We can hear you. We
There
cannot.
we go. Okay. Gonna leave it.
Okay, the second motion is to move that the select board vote not to adopt an open space discount for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Farrell, I.
Stein, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
The third motion is to move that the select board vote not to adopt a residential exemption for fiscal year 2021.
Oh, so moved.
Second,
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Farrell, I.
Stein, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
And finally, a motion to move that the select board vote not to adopt the small commercial exemption for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Farrell, I.
Stein, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
And if you wouldn't mind closing the hearing,
Do I hear a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
All in favor?
Farrell, I.
Stein, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
okay, you folks do not have to sign anything else. The roll is all done. The only people have to do things are Grace, who's on witnessing this, and myself, and thank you. But again, the new rate, the DOR has to certify it, but I can't see them changing. It would be $22.61 per $1,000 evaluation. That is a $1.43 decrease from fiscal 20. 97 cents of that decrease comes from the use of free cash, and 46 cents comes from increased valuations. Thank you for your time, folks.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you for all your hard work, Kevin.
Yeah.
Good
Bye.
night.
Thank you, Grace.
You're amazing.
Just doing my job. Thanks, folks.
Thank you for doing your job.
Thanks, Kevin.
Good night.
Okay.
I think Tom Seifert and Jen are both here, but
I
mute.
see.
Here they come.
Hello.
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 Hi, Jen. Hi, Tom.
Hi. Hi, Becky.
Thank you for your patience.
No problem. All right. Shall we move on to the athletic club renewal?
Yes.
Okay, so the application, Jen Donnelly completed the ABC application and the ABCC fee, so that's all in place. And as you know, the local licensing authority $450 fee was waived. At this point, according to Lori Doubleday, who's the treasurer, the liquor liability and workers' comp is waived, or they will be renewed. Lori provided the Department of Revenue Certificate of Good Standing and the Department of Unemployment Assistance Certificate of Compliance, so those are all there. The SAC is not renewing their pool table and live entertainment licenses at this time because they're closed. The only problem is that, as far as I know, you all don't have your certificate of inspection. And that requirement hasn't been waived by the state. There was an ABCC update last week, a week ago, and they affirmed that the fire safety and the certificate of inspection is a requirement. That's where we are at this point.
So we can't move forward for this without that.
You really can't, because it is a requirement of the license. So,
May I speak or?
yes, of course.
Thank you. Okay. I checked today, the check cleared.
Yeah.
Are we talking about, please, the building inspection that a man named James Hawkins might have come by for?
Yes.
Okay, he visited us on November 12th at the club. And received his check then and did the inspection then. The check cleared today, 11/24, in the checking account. I don't know if that's related to its status as pending at the moment, as opposed to approved or complete or whatever the next one is, but that's kind of all I know at the moment. If you might have advice or any like background info that I might not have, I don't know how to check anything online. I don't think I have online access.
Right. I think we do through the inspection program, but Linda's been checking and just checked.
I know. She wrote me around 5:15 today.
Yeah,
And I just don't know what to say, like, or how to accelerate it, but
no, I don't know. I think that you might want to call there,
yeah,
or if you look at their website, FCCIP website, there are phone numbers there, and I believe email addresses. And so you could email and ask if there's some reason why it hasn't been issued. I can't do that, on your behalf. You would have to do that.
Sure. I just wondered if you knew of issues like timing. Would this be normal, maybe that an inspection on the 12th still hadn't been showing as approved in the system as of the 24th, or is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Okay.
know that often you're down to the wire, having it happen, but I don't know why. So I guess the best thing is to contact them and see why.
You had also offered, I think, a December 8th postponement, possibly. Might that be the best choice right now? I imagine that's enough time to solve it on our end.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on.
Yeah, I think that's probably, I would say that's probably the best idea, is to shoot for the 7th.
Or
To
7th.
get that last piece. Yeah. That's our next meeting.
7th.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just remembering that this had to be done by the end of November? Or is that just something I have stuck in my head?
Thanks, Jen. The requirement is that all the application forms have to be signed by the end of November. So
Okay.
you've done that. You've signed all of your ABCC documents in the month of November. So that part is okay. Because that's, let me just.
Tom, while she's doing that, I have the FCCIP number.
Okay.
If you want to write it down, it's 413-774.
Yes, please.
3167. And it's extension 113 for Jim Hawkins.
Oh yeah, I've called, yeah, or 109 for Chris, who's his assistant or something.
Chris
Yes,
Rupp.
I have called
And
that before.
if you call Jim early, he's usually there early and then he takes off. But
Okay,
that's your best bet.
try him first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so according to the renewal guidelines, it says all retail license renewal applications must be signed by an authorized corporate officer, individual or partner, and filed with the local licensing authority, which is the select board, between November 1st and November 30th.
Oh.
So you're required to renew by the November 30th of the year. So
they've done their part.
you've done your part. According to the way I read it, it says that you have to renew by November 30th.
And so the select board's permitting process needs to get done by December 31st, right? The select board has to sign before then. So if we have them at our next meeting, they should be fine.
Right, it says, right, your signing deadline is by November 30th. To the SAC, yeah. Yeah,
And the select board has another month.
well, yeah, we want to get it done as soon as possible so that we can get it in. we have until all of, we have to submit our renewal documents, your renewal documents by the 15th of January, but I want to get it in ASAP. And, because Jen's done all the work, way ahead. And
Yeah,
so
so why don't we put it on our agenda, Becky, for the next meeting then?
Okay,
Will you, Jennifer and Tom be able to join us on the 7th? Will you?
Sure, absolutely.
and we'll put you first, so you don't have to
Okay,
wait through all the other agenda items again.
so it is indeed Monday, the 7th,
No,
The
it's-
8th,
Tuesday, the 8th.
Tuesday. We meet on Tuesdays.
Okay, because I see the 8th on my calendar. here.
Yeah, I said the 7th, I think, so that's my mistake. I apologize.
And is that 6 p.m. please, or what time? I'm sorry.
we can
Five-
put you on at 5:45,
Okay, thank you. Let me just write that.
and we'll get you a copy of the memorandum of agreement. So you'll have that, because that's another document to sign with the town.
Okay, I think I remember that from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
that's all.
That's
Thank
it?
you.
Okay,
I'm good.
We'll get this done.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you very much. Let me figure out how to close it.
Okay, let's move on to designer selection procedures.
So I included a description in your packet of the designer selection procedure. It's the process that we're using to select our roofing engineer or designer. And I'm working with Andrea Woods from FERCog. We put together the rough outline of everything, the description of the project. We're compiling lists of designers to send it to. I'm getting a copy of the as-built from Matt Foster, our school custodian, to have them ready to go into the packet. And we put together a timeline where our goal is to have the bid documents returned before annual town meeting, so that this project we hope to put on annual town meeting. But of course, we don't know the format for our annual town meeting at this point. So that will be the topic of a lot of discussion to come by the select board.
Okay.
Maybe not. So does anyone have any questions about the request for qualifications?
Becky, I don't know if I saw that. I must have missed it. When did you send it out?
It was this afternoon.
Okay, all right. So because I didn't see it, I just have a question about what the scope of work is for a designer. What do they do? I mean, it's a roofing job, right?
It is, but the roof, the school roof, we really just need a designer for the gym area. Because the gym area is like, most people feel like it's built upside down. It has all the insulation on the top and then cement pavers on top of that. And it's a very unusual flat roof design, more typical of California. And it's, we're, the conversation in the building committee or with roofers over the last 15 years has been to redo the whole top of the whole roof area.
Start over. Yeah.
Yeah, start over. The rest of the gym, that's asphalt shingles. We need to resheathe and then shingle, but we don't need to redesign it.
I see.
So the designing is limited to the gym area that has this funky design. And I'll share some pictures in the packet from a roofing project that we did earlier on. and you can see grass growing out of the roof and stuff. It's just not been,
It was almost like a swimming pool. You know,
Yeah,
the way
almost-
it's formatted, it's more of a swimming pool than it is a roof.
yeah, and then you've got the foam, layers of foam with cement on top. It just instinctively, it just always has felt wrong. And we've grown all kinds of bushes out of it and stuff. So it's,
That's where we should put a community
Rebuilding.
garden.
So we'll be rebuilding part of the roof.
oh yeah, the whole gym roof, I imagine the whole thing being removed and rebuilt. Because it's not, it's the way it connects to all the scuppers and all the drainage along the outer walls. The
Mhm.
water is now pouring into the building through the walls.
Mhm.
And so the way it interfaces with, the roof interfaces with the cement blocks on the outside has to be all
I see.
redesigned and reconfigured. And we need to find, the way the water is taken away from the roof has to be done differently because it's failed horribly. And the water then has to, we imagine, has to go under the sidewalks and be drained into the grassy area in the middle of or at the far end of the parking lot. So that part, it's all design work is critical for that, the gym area. And
Becky, when they get done, is it gonna be also a flat roof, or are they gonna try to make it some angle?
that's what it's up to the designers. A good chance they'll try to come in with a pitched roof of some
A
sort.
more New England style?
Yeah,
That's gonna be expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we need something that it has to hold water, and it doesn't. It's a very questionable design the way it is now. And the parquet floor in the gym is one of a kind. It's the kind you can't build these days. It's beautiful, and we don't want that destroyed. So it's gonna be tricky. Rita, do you have other questions?
Yeah, I was just, so the RFQ gets issued, and then we review by qualifications or by cost, or?
You
remember.
establish a limit on the cost. So and then you choose by qualifications and your criteria.
And who's establishing the limit on cost?
Well, I've gone back and forth with Andrea because trying to bring it down, because if we can avoid having to go to a special town meeting to pay for the engineering, it would be ideal. Because again, I don't know how we would hold a special town meeting right now, but it's something for you all to think about in case that's our only path. If we currently have about $22,000 in our building renovation line, that is, there's some other, smaller projects that could go to, but we could, if we, between that and some help from the school, I think if we could do the design work, Andrea is saying is between $28,000 and $30,000. Just from talking to her conversation with architects, the bids could come in lower, but she said in this type of bid, you usually set a limit and have, and you focus on the qualifications.
Okay.
But my hope was to get it down to 22,000 because I know I have that. That money is there. But she said that might be unrealistic.
And is that money, who's that money under the jurisdiction of? Is that something that the select board would vote on then, or?
No, you don't have, you can vote on it. Basically, it's in the budget. Yeah, is it in the budget? I believe it's in the budget, and it's been added. It's the fund. It's it's not a line item. It's a fund that we added $5,000 to this year. And remember, Bob Grove said we didn't need the money.
Yeah.
And that's because he hadn't done any of the projects that the money was for yet.
Right.
But that money is there and it's general, it's for renovation. So, you know, I've used it for other things that we needed to have done, and the building committee has used it for things. So I think that can be used for this project.
And that would not require a town meeting to authorize that money.
Correct.
Right, it's already there.
Town meeting already authorized the funds in that for building renovations.
Would the finance committee reserve fund be available to help out with this?
Potentially, but I think we would go first to see if the school has some money,
It makes sense.
and then to the finance committee. But I think if we, you know, I think we're close enough. And this is such a critical project, and timing is such of importance with continued leaking, that I think we'd have support from the town to move ahead. And then refill those funds at town meeting for the other projects that are still.
Like a good approach.
Yeah.
And yeah, and definitely would appreciate the support of the select board and school committee and in all of this. The school committee is submitting a new roof as part of their capital request, but they're just really wanting to get it done this year. And so moving ahead is important.
And it's not getting better.
Mm-mm.
So do we need to take a vote or just acknowledging that we're supporting this?
At this point, just acknowledging when we get some bids in, if we get a contract, I'll bring a contract back for your vote on a contract.
Okay.
And I'll have to have a plan to pay for the work that I ask you to sign before you can sign it.
Do you need us to vote to give you any authorization to do any of that work? Or you're good, you don't need us to vote on that?
Um,
On the RFQ, don't we need to vote that?
Sure, vote that. I thought you already did, but I'm probably.
Why
yeah,
don't we redo it just in case?
No, Linda just confirmed you already voted that. when I
Pretty
wrote-
sure we did a while ago.
Oh, okay.
It was like 2 meetings ago, I
Oh,
think.
all right.
When I first brought it up, you were in full support and I asked you to take a vote then.
Okay, great.
So I'm not acting in a rogue manner at this point. You already supported me.
I just don't remember.
Right.
Town administrator goes rogue. Next thing I heard.
Again.
If only, right? No, just or something like that. Not some crazy reason why. Yeah.
No, I think I did make sure you were in support, and I know the school committee is in support of moving ahead.
Good.
Great.
Good. Okay, we're on town administrator updates.
Well, that was my big one.
Okay.
Let's see. As we're still, as far as reopening, I'm very glad we have not reopened at this point with everyone else shutting back up around us.
This isn't, Vicki, I want to add something, and this isn't for the minutes. And I just want to add in before I forget it. Both of us had negative testing. So,
Oh, that's wonderful.
yes.
Okay, we had another employee and potentially a spouse. Yes, they were. And I'm glad to know that that was negative. And that was
Everybody there that day was negative, except for the person that had it. Yeah.
excellent. That's really good.
Which means you can live in the same house as someone and not get it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That is possible. So, which is good. So anyway, I wanted to give you that information
Great.
so that you had it.
Numbers are certainly going up in the state. That's for sure.
We are utilizing the downstairs Council on Aging as a meeting space.
Mhm.
It's gotten pretty cold outside, so it's helpful to have that. And starting on Monday, we will be having trash distribution from downstairs. So people could actually come in out of the weather. I felt really bad. A family came in, well, somehow the front door was unlocked, and all of a sudden they were coming up the steps, and I don't think they got, I was kind of alarmed that they were in the building. So I feel bad that they weren't totally welcomed and coming in the building, but I was more like, I'm sorry, we're closed. You have to go outside and wait. And the wind was howling and there was a little boy. And
Oh, God.
so we're not going to repeat that situation. We'll have a space that they can get out of the weather, one family at a time. Can come and get their bags. And Grace put out an announcement to that fact. So that's our new procedure on that, as well as having one-on-one meetings with people downstairs. So as we move into the next months of COVID. Let's see what else I'm sorry, should be more prepared. So it's the roofing project, that's the top priority. And the other MLP and the CARES Act money projects that are at the top of the list. The budgets are, for the most part, all major budgets have come in, including the school, the elementary school, not the region. One thing important to talk about is preparation for the 4-town meeting. The finance committee and you all met with the school committee at the last week. How the town presents at the 4-town meeting, I still have some concerns about strategy, that to be sure that we have a clear spokesperson, or maybe two, maybe one from the school, I'm in the select board, and one from the finance committee. Just because the format is going to be as on Zoom, and we're going to need for people to be able to, for clarity, and they've only scheduled an hour for the whole meeting. I did.
Really?
Yeah. If you look at the agenda, it's only an hour. And
So maybe they're not going to pick our brains for what we're thinking. They're just going to give us information.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I spoke to Doug Slaughter after our last meeting. They don't have very much actual information.
Oh, okay. All right.
They have very
Well, that
little. And I asked if they, to get materials out to us ahead of time, if they can. He couldn't promise that he would have materials ready ahead. I asked about breakout rooms, and he said that was a great suggestion, and they're going to look into the mechanics of how to set that up.
Okay.
So we can do that. They want to, I think they're going to be listening. They want people to present their current financial condition. And so I think the finance committee would be taking the lead on that issue. But as far as the assessment formula, he said he's going to have something prepared. So part of my thought was looking at what we had last year, the 40, 45, and 50% were on the chart. And we ended up with a 45. I was thinking I should ask him to prepare 45, 50, and 65% for the meeting, just so we would have some sense of what that might look like. And I've gotten word from Steve Sullivan that Pelham is in really bad shape. I think he mentioned that at the last meeting.
Yep.
And Amherst will present what condition they're in. I'm not clear on what their financial picture is, how much of their aid is helping them, and how much they are struggling with their schools because of a drop in choice funds. I don't know if that impacts them like it impacts Pelham.
Well, and the revenue for the town is certainly down.
yeah, the overall revenue is down and they don't want to have any increases.
Mm-mm. So what's your sense about what's going on in Leverett? You know, is their
Um,
census going down too?
I should check in with them because I had word early on that a lot of people were choicing out, but I don't know where they stand now. I did talk to Bruce Turner a little bit about it, but I don't really have a clear picture. I can call Margie. I'll try to call Margie next week.
And Peter won't be there.
Right.
obviously.
So Becky, in terms of your suggestion about just given if we only have an hour and then it not be a free-for-all, I think I had suggested when we met, we had our joint meeting, whatever, last week, that there be be a spokesperson, and everybody rejected that.
No, I don't think that's what they read. I know when you brought that up,
Yeah.
you said the chairs should be the spokespeople.
Or, well, yeah, I was just
Actually-
saying it could be the chairs, but I was saying having a spokesperson was really the point.
And I agree with that. I just wanted to be sure that if the chair wasn't the most comfortable doing it,
Oh, yeah.
that somebody else do it. That
But I
was-
don't think that's accepted by at least some of the members of the finance committee. Because, we could be in a situation where it's a minority report and a majority report, but it's not consensus.
I
Certain-
think that will be settled next week at the finance committee meeting.
Oh, okay.
It's on the agenda to really hash that through and how it really will matter what they present.
Yeah.
And how they talk about the assessment formula and it
Is
won't.
that really the major topic then, do you think, for this meeting, is the assessment formula rather than, we could spend the entire hour talking about the assessment formula.
Yes, but
We haven't spent 2 hours doing that.
Yeah.
It's a
Just-
multiple meeting.
we could do that. Shutesbury could do that, but I don't think there's any appetite by the other 3 towns to spend any time on it.
Okay,
So in trying to balance that out, deciding what statements to make, and I met with Jim Walton today just to review the last meeting
yep,
and make sure that at least he was making sure that the things that people had come to consensus on, like the long-term goal to get to statutory,
mhm,
and that it's important to listen to the condition of other towns before determining how far to push.
yeah.
I
And I
think,
think we all acknowledged in that meeting too, this is just a unique year that, so much unknown still, even after we know so much, there's still so much unknown too, that, just tossing that was kind of the theme
Yeah.
of our discussion too,
it definitely was. And,
Yeah.
and talking to Doug Slaughter really reinforced that because he couldn't, putting materials together is a nightmare for him right now because everything, we don't have the final state budget for this year.
Mhm.
And we're trying to project it for next year.
and they
And
haven't made decisions on full remote or hybrid or in school yet either,
yeah,
so how do you budget for that?
yeah. And so how do you budget for next year when you don't know where they're going to be? So, or how many kids you're going to have? Are you facing a 30% reduction in your school? I mean, nobody
Or if
knows.
school stays hybrid and in person, does your enrollment bloom?
right.
Because people can take classes, so who knows?
Well, somehow I have a hunch that Shutesbury, the numbers of kids going from Shutesbury is going to be higher than our other small towns, or proportionally higher. Because it
As a
seems like
percentage, you mean?
it's a percentage of the incoming class.
Well, we don't know that.
We
I mean,
How
don't
do
know.
you know that?
And no, well, I guess I'm thinking that Pelham is.
The
really
internet?
challenging. And, you know, I guess that's where, that's
Hunch.
it's a hunch.
Wishful thinking.
That's definitely true compared to what it would have been if we didn't have the internet. Our kids would have been, what would we have done?
Right.
Oh,
You know, we would have been the one town in the region without
Oh
the
my
ability
God,
to do remote learning.
Yeah.
that's right. And we'd be busing kids to, cars outside
You
of
can't even
libraries.
put them in a bus.
That's right.
I mean, except for like 3 kids in a bus. I don't know.
If you could put one in a tent, another in a tent, you'd have a whole tent city.
So Becky, what did we, so we agreed, we're gonna meet a half an hour before that four-town meeting. That's the next time we're all together with the finance committee, school committee, select board.
You could, do you want me to post on the select board to overlap the finance committee meeting? Or do you want them to slug that out?
When?
think we could
Next-
slip it.
When is
Tuesday, the 1st.
I thought we're getting together early on the 5th.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
No, I was just suggesting, did you want to,
No, I'll,
Let them slug it out.
I might
I might
watch.
attend. I
I
might
might
watch
watch.
too.
okay.
No, but it seems,
If we're there, maybe it changes the discussion too much and they don't get to
slug it out.
figure it out, slug it out or figure it out on their own. Do
I
you know
don't
what I'm
think
saying?
they
Not have
care.
a scheduled meeting. If one of us, if we want to go. just
I don't
let-
think they
No, we
care.
could, but if we posted a meeting or it looked a little
No, that's
formal.
not post. Yeah.
We can,
All right. And I think having
well,
I'll do that on a different, on a regular Zoom, and so everybody can jump off 5 minutes ahead and jump on to the
Right.
official meeting.
So,
so,
so I'm assuming what the finance committee is going to do is come forth with some basic parameters and not start the negotiation. That they're just kind of laying the groundwork. We want to work towards statutory. We're in tough financial shape, maybe not as drastic as, some of the other towns, but that's kind of what they're going to lay out at their meeting next week. And
That's
then,
what they're going to decide what they're going to present and who's going to present.
okay, and then what do you want the select board to do then?
I think you want to be thinking about what is important for you, what you feel needs to be said, even if it's repeats what they say,
because it seems
And-
to,
if you guys can be in unison about your message.
Mhm.
Um,
So are we? Because I felt like we were, like, that really this was a time to listen and not to jump into a full-on,
Heated discussion. Yeah.
right, and to be really understanding. And that our end goal has not changed,
Mhm.
but this understanding this is extraordinary this year. And I think relatively to other towns, we're not doing too badly financially yet.
I don't think we're going to say.
No, I'm not going to
Well,
say that. No.
I wouldn't say that necessarily in that meeting, but our budget and our revenue isn't based on tourism colleges
Right,
in the same way that Amherst is,
right.
Meals tax, sales tax.
Yeah, just all that whole, we don't have reliance on any of that. So
So we're not,
that does put us at a little bit of a better standing because ours isn't fluctuating like that.
But
Or
we don't
hasn't
have to harp on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't harp on that.
no.
They know it.
And they probably
know.
will do.
And the unemployment rate in town has been pretty stable. At this point,
Do you remember what it is?
it's right, like 6.5.
Oh, that's not too bad.
That was in September.
That's not so bad. It's been a
No.
lot higher for other towns.
Yeah, some towns it's like 20%. But I think even all 4 towns, Amherst, Pelham, Leverett, and Shutesbury, it's all within that 6. Nobody's over 7. I think one's at 6.9.
So I do take back a little bit is we are reliant on somewhat on the colleges because the colleges kept everybody employed.
Right.
Right. So
But
I
we're
want to
not-
nominate April to be our spokesperson.
You don't like me, huh?
You come at it, April, with such a counselor way of,
Oh, yeah. I don't do that anymore.
I don't think you can turn it off though, right? Really.
No, she can't turn it off.
I turned
I
it
mean,
off.
I would do it, but I have the least amount of experience here, so
How about,
I'm always at awe with
it.
George on how George just
know,
understands
know.
all of this.
Well, I
But if
don't think we,
it's just our, the select board. I mean, we can listen to what the finance committee has to say next
And
week.
reiterate.
It's basically parroting it if we are in fact, if that's
Exactly.
accurate.
And,
Okay.
and if for some reason they do go off the rails, April, I've seen you get things back on track
Really?
in that situation before.
Yes.
So,
Excellent.
All right, I'll give it a try, but I know I have good support behind me. you know,
Yes.
So
and you guys can,
we're awesome.
yeah, you guys are awesome.
All right. So
Rule.
what do I wear? No, I'm kidding.
We all should wear Shutesbury sweatshirts just so they know who we are. Or not. Maybe we don't want to do that. I don't know.
Well,
An hour seems a little short though.
it
Yeah,
does.
that's what Jim Walton was saying. It's like, so it doesn't really give, it's
Wait a-
usually like an hour and a half or 2 hours, but I think because they don't have 13 or 20 page PowerPoint ready to go, like they normally do. So it's gonna be like the same format, but abbreviated. It sounds like, but who knows? It could go long. And it's just doing it in the Zoom format itself could make things longer. But
Mhm.
it'll be interesting having Sean Mangano. He likely will be speaking for Amherst to some extent. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know if he will, but
Yeah, that's true.
So I just had one other kind of just administrative question. If after the finance committee, April were to put just the 3 or 4 bullet points that we want to highlight as the select board, send that out and we could just give you comments back individually. Is that work?
yeah.
So, I'll
So
write
that
back to
just,
Becky,
yeah, because of open
Becky.
meeting.
right.
Okay,
That's-
I can do something and then you guys can, I can do that.
right. Okay.
Though I may forget, so somebody has to remind me.
I'll have to wake you up and tell you to get out of your pajamas.
Not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, the life. She's retired.
Oh my God, clothes, who wears them?
I just wear tops.
Okay, at the count of 3,
Okay,
everybody stand up.
No,
I haven't put I've worn my capris so far. I have not taken my capri. I change them when I leave the house just because walking around in
Exactly.
capris in 30 degrees is a little funny looking, but
No, I get it.
That's
It's
awesome.
weird
I
and
think we have a
strange.
plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll write up a 3 bullet, send it out, comments to Becky.
Yeah, I'd wait till after the finance committee.
Oh, yes, because they're gonna have to tussle it out.
Mhm.
And I don't think,
They might be closer than, I think they're pretty close.
good,
Because if you just focus in on the finance committee, it seems like they know, I don't know. We'll see.
yeah,
People's minds might change by then too. So it'll be a good meeting, as
okay,
always.
all right.
all right.
So,
Was
FinCom,
there any other administrator updates, Becky, that you could think of off the top of your head? Town hall closed on Friday, right?
It might have to be if everybody takes vacation.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
I'm
it's technically closed now, but I mean, there won't be any.
Yeah,
You guys
it's
took
a
it off
work
last year.
day. We have to take vacation. It's not a holiday. But most people that I've talked to are taking the day off. So, yeah.
When do
Okay.
we sign warrants? Are they ready to be
Yes.
signed?
Yeah, the warrants are there.
I might put that.
The Ryan's been in. Oh, and that issue about the vacation and sick pay.
Yeah,
I got all the raw materials from Tim on yesterday, and Ryan put it in, updated the spreadsheet. Ryan had sent out to every department a spreadsheet to start with for us to maintain. You know, individual employees have been maintaining it and department heads are supposed to. Tim's not a big computer guy, so he just wrote down all the usage, but he didn't maintain the chart where he would know what it was
Was left
subtracted
over.
from.
okay.
So Ryan plugged that all in for him. And Ryan is our human resource person. And that's why Tim goes to him about his health insurance and things like that. So I just wanted to clarify that. So I think Tim is calmed down, but he got in conversation with their new person and they didn't have answers. So now he does. He's back on track knowing what to do. And I'll just work to make sure we get his stuff updated if he's not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just had one other, Becky, you sent out a paragraph about using masks in town hall.
Yeah,
Where did that come from? Did that come from the Department of Public Health or?
Yes.
Okay, because
I
it wasn't.
think it was at DPH.
Okay.
And I thought it was interesting that they were telling us what to do in town hall for the first time.
And what about
Now that we're in November,
Yeah, now that we're 9 months
and
in.
you're probably doing it already.
and how does that apply to the police department?
They have, when they're in town hall, they wear their masks.
And when they're not?
When they're not, after the new legislation came out 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, so they are wearing them all the time
Okay.
because of the new because of the new orders that came down from the governor.
Okay.
But prior to that, as you know, they were not using them at traffic stops because of the concern of not being able to smell and use their senses and fogging up their glasses and the risk it could pose if they were dealing with a threat. But now they have to.
Okay.
So they are. Yeah.
Good.
And I did speak with the woman who wrote the complaint about the police and masks and offered to have a meeting with her and Melissa and the police chief. And she didn't feel that it was worth her time. She said she already had made her point of saving Shutesbury from our police who were not doing what she wanted.
Okay.
But I assured her that, because I told her they were doing they had changed the policy 2 or 3 weeks before. She kind of argued that nothing had ever changed, so I got the new policy from the governor to send to her, but after talking to Melissa, I decided not to send any, in further conversation wasn't going to be helpful.
Okay.
She had her mind made up, and pushing the issue wasn't, she wasn't concerned about learning any more of Dan's reasoning or changing her mind about anything. So,
Okay.
So we're moving on.
Yep.
Okay.
Onward and upward.
Yeah.
So we have some minutes to approve.
Minute.
Wait,
The appointment. We have the
Yes.
appointment.
yes.
Give me the name one more time because
There
It's
are two, Rory asked for two
Rory.
appointments. Elizabeth Pangburn and David Leach.
Okay, do I hear a motion to appoint Rory?
No, Elizabeth
Oh,
Pang.
Elizabeth Chang, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And David Leach.
So moved.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Carol, I.
Sinai.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay,
Minutes.
I have a rogue mouse. Hold on one moment.
We forgot to, did you send out the executive? Because
I did, but everything was going like, I didn't want to say, oh.
Oh, by the way, yeah, we'll maybe have on the next agenda an executive session to approve the minutes.
For two, right, yeah, you could do the two, this one and the 9-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
And
to get them
Linda,
done.
The
Yeah.
9-2 one didn't have a date on it, just so
Oh.
you might want to add
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Shall we do minutes now?
Yes.
Okay. Do I hear a motion for the November 10th?
So moved.
Second,
All right. Are there any edits or corrections that anyone would like to make?
no, they were good.
No. Okay. All in favor?
Carol, I.
Sinai.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. And do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the 17th?
So moved.
And I'll
Great.
second.
Okay. Any edits or corrections? Nope.
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Carol, I.
Sinai.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Thank you, Becky and Linda, for such beautiful minutes.
Yes.
I don't think I touched these. So,
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, Becky, not thanking you.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I did want to just mention one thing. The personnel board had a meeting.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know that's okay. That's okay. And they have a new chair. Well, it's a reused chair.
Repurpose chair. Repurpose.
Ralph Armstrong is the chair again.
Oh, it's going to be fun again.
It's fun again. So, well, it was always fun with Anna too. So we didn't lose the fun.
It absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that
Anna
was-
made it really nice. And Peg Ross is the new secretary.
Okay.
And Melody enjoyed the meeting, so. And we're gonna have Melissa at the next one, so it'll be
Yes.
perfect.
Great.
So Melody is the FinCom rep.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
Oh, nice.
yeah, and I think I saw her smile 100 times more than I ever have in a finance committee meeting.
Wonder why.
Well, even George would smile a lot in our personnel board meetings.
Yes, even
That's right.
Curious George.
It's hard
Curious.
not. It's so much fun.
I just want to remind you, when you go in to sign the warrants, there is a folder with thank you notes in it.
Now that I've tested negative and Chris has done several times, then I'll feel safe enough to go up into town hall.
I think I signed those, Linda.
Okay, perfect. Great.
So I'll pop up tomorrow maybe.
Yeah, no worries. I won't get, I'll get them. Well, I know you have to go in for the warrants, so, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pop up.
So there's another, other than what I already signed.
no,
Last.
it's the same one I put in after the last
Thank you, Chris.
meeting, I think.
But there'll be 2 warrants.
I've signed them, right?
There was like 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
Oh, Melissa disappeared.
No, I'm here. I'm here. My phone buzzed. I wanted to make sure Chris didn't need anything.
Good.
I know. I just have to say, as an aside, I got a bunch of these weird texts from my 5-year-old great nephew. He's got hold of his mom's phone and it's like, oh my God.
I get
never
voice
seen-
messages from mine because he doesn't type it, right? So he holds down the button and he speaks into it.
It's like, oh my God, a new universe.
It's fun.
It was a little, she got
When
it
my
back.
grandson was 2 and it was at Christmas at our house, he was playing with the phone
Oh no.
and that following Monday, when I went back to work, I was checking my messages. And one of them was from Michael.
That's great.
He had managed to dial the office,
That's
you know,
really.
the redial. And
Adorable.
going on and on, talk, because he was like, I remember him doing it, and there were people in the background, but I had to keep it for quite a while. It
Yeah.
was precious.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
so funny. But I think, yeah, I got to go call him. I think he has his own iPad,
oh, God.
Zoom. His dad set up Zoom on his own iPad. I have to go check out. I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh, God.
Careful, if they do it on a phone, you could get motion sickness. We did this with my nephew when we first started, and he was like running around the house. I'm like, you need to sit down because Auntie's getting nauseous. It was all over the place. Like it was up, it was down, it was just, you know.
That's what Michael does now with his dad's iPhone. He's just crazy, and he hides in the laundry basket, and you know, you can't see anything, and yeah, it's
More
all,
of this. We need more of this right now.
but everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
You too. Please enjoy.
Yeah.
Take
So I
care.
make a motion to
So just adjourn.
adjourn.
Adjourn. Motion to adjourn, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Rita's gone.
She's adjourned.
All right. Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. I have to push the end meeting for all.
Okay, bye.